Burrell. I am a part-time librarian at the South Campus Library Learning Commons. And today what I'm going to do is show you the America's Newsbank. Newsbank is a database that has many parts to it. It offers news transcripts, newspaper articles, news magazines, CNN, NBC, CBS, all of their transcripts to their broadcasts. And what I'm going to do is show you how to get into Newsbank and show you all the different parts to it. So let's get started. If you're at home and you go to FSCJ's website and you're going to come to this screen, and then we're going to click on Connections here, the student portal, and I'm going to use my student login to log on. Okay. And then you're going to scroll down to search library materials here. And once you log in, you come to the Primo page. Now what's supposed to happen is that your name is supposed to be there. It's supposed to automatically, at home it probably will. Sometimes in this lab we have some technical difficulties. But what's supposed to happen is that once you go in through Connections and log in, you won't have to log in again. And your name should be there where you see Guest. All right, I'm going to click on Database by Subject. To get to Newsbank, on this page, the database are organized by subject, and we have arts and humanities on down to Spanish language. What we're looking for is news and current events. So if you click on the plus sign, it opens up all of the database that will provide you with news and current event. And you see here where Newsbank has several databases in this subject heading. If you click on any one of them, it will bring you to this page, and you simply connect to database, and it brings you to America's Newsbank. Let's say this particular one is a Spanish language database, and it has all of these newspapers that provide Spanish language news. But if I want to go to something else in the Newsbank family, the sidebar on the left-hand side of the page on the shortcuts shows you all of the database that we have that Newsbank provides. All right. Now, if you don't need a Spanish language newspaper, you see over here you have Florida newspapers. If I click there, it will take me to Florida newspapers. And if I want to search anything, let's say basketball. Since the playoffs are going on, I'll put in basketball. And I simply click search. And all of the results are going to be from newspapers that are in Florida. You see here, basketball is the family's salvation. This is from the St. Petersburg Times, October 2007. Well, let's say I want something a little bit more recent. On the upper right-hand corner here where it says View, Newest First or Oldest First, I'm simply going to click on Newest First. So we have articles in Newsbank that are as current as today, as the day you're searching. Okay? If you look in the left-hand sidebar, you'll see that in 2012, they have 9,244 articles that have the keyword basketball in them. Now, if you just wanted to search by source, if you go back and edit your search, and let's say you just want to search in the Jacksonville newspaper, which is the Florida Times-Union. and say I click here, the Florida Times Union, you'll see that it's from January 1996 to current. So those are the articles that they have in the database from the Florida Times Union, all the way back to 1996. So I'm going to leave it basketball, but it's only going to search in the Jacksonville newspaper. So it comes back with 298 articles. So if I wanted to search for something particular to a specific area in the country, whether it be Florida or any other state, I can do that as well with the Newsbank database. I'm going to do a new search, and I'm going to go to United States. And then I'm going to say, let's say if I wanted to do research on the Jenna 6, which was a newsworthy event in Louisiana. So I'm going to click on Louisiana, and I'm going to type in Jenna 6, or I'm going to spell it out, S-I-X. And this will return articles that were written in Louisiana about the Jenna 6, which were 6 young African-American boys that were put on trial back in 2007 for a crime. And tons of rallies that happened similar to the rallies that we've had this year. Let's say I was doing a comparison between the Trayvon Martin incident, the rallies around Trayvon Martin, and the rallies around the Jenna 6. I can use the Newsbank database to gather information on that. Okay. All right, I'm going to go and do a new search again. And let's say I want world information, something about outside of the United States. And the Queen just celebrated her Jubilee. So I'm going to go to Europe. And I'm going to specifically click on England. The blue. I like the color codes. That's kind of fun. So I'm going to put in Queen Elizabeth Jubilee. And then I'm going to ask them for the past 7 days, because the Queen is celebrating her Jubilee, I think, this week, which is 60 years of being on the throne. So we're going to search Queen Elizabeth Jubilee for the past 7 days. And we came up with 661 articles, specifically in June of 2012. And to click on an article, you simply just click the title. And before it comes up, you'll notice that it gives you the length of the article, how many printed pages it will be. It also gives you the Lexile level. So if you're looking for something a little bit highbrow, you would look for something a little bit higher in Lexile, or if you need something a little easier to read, then of course the lower Lexile. Once you pull the article up, it's here. You can email the article from the database, or print the article from the database. And a little tip, anytime you're in a database, always use the print function and the email function that are inside the database. That way you're assured to get the full article and not just the outside, because it is a purchase database and it is protected and it won't let you copy it if you use the browser. Also on the right-hand sidebar, it will give you some similar articles or articles that are related that you might want to look at in regards to what you're researching. And it also will export a bibliography for you to use when you're citing the article. If you click that bibliography page, it will give you everything that you need for your citation. Okay. In the shortcuts over here, it tells you everything we have. United States is there. Of course, that's the entire United States. The world, I showed you. You can search articles in all the 7 continents and the Middle East. Well, maybe not Antarctica, but the 6 continents and the Middle East. And then you have America's news magazines. Now, how that's different than newspapers. The news magazines would be like Field and Stream, Foreign Affairs, Parenting. So some of them are the regular magazines that you might have come into your house every day. Baby Talk, Science Illustrated, Smithsonian. All of those are in the Newsbank database for you to use when you're doing research. You also have access to news wires, which would be like the Associated Press, United Press, is United Press? Yeah, UPI, News Track, University Wire. These are all the news wires where many of your broadcast stations get their first blip of news to report. So they're all here and they're all current. Okay. So that means it'll be up until the very day that you're searching. You have military and defense, which would be Federal Times, anything dealing with the government. You also have international news, business news, broadcast transcripts, which would be ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. You also have UPN, WB, PBS. So you do have broadcast transcripts. I like to use major metropolitan titles. That would be your major newspapers from all our big cities like New York, the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times, San Francisco Chronicle, the Seattle Times. You want to search those titles, click on major metropolitan titles, and then of course you have your Florida newspapers. So, anytime you want to search for something very, very current, something that would be relevant to today, maybe you might want to compare, like we did, the Jena 6 to the Trayvon Martin rallies, then I suggest you use America's Newsbank, or because you can access world news, or you can be specific just to Jacksonville. And that's all I have for this Newsbank.